Hello, good evening. Warm welcome back. Yesterday, the session was straight into an extraordinary subject, and many were asking to listen again because, and I, even though you may have heard something before on this, it is such a deep topic. So we'll post the recording for that. And when it comes to aspects of the mind, I feel this quote is so helpful. And it's by John Milton as part of Paradise Lost. He said, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven." And it's so true. And when we saw, the identification aspect, how it changes something that is more maybe a gift or a transitory aspect of this world of change, that claiming and that ownership and the defensiveness. So I'm sure this will get more clear as well today. This other quote I often feel is relevant as well, in especially today's culture. Simon Sinek often works with, I think, personal development, and is particularly drawn to working with sort of millennial generation. He says, better to go slow in the right direction than to go fast in the wrong direction. So, in the name of progress, it feels good, but at the same time, if it's with one of the little eyes, as was drawn yesterday, it can backfire. So we have this concept of progress trap and failure of success, which really connects, I think, to yesterday. And so the homework, reflecting on how we can win quality time in the true I, feels like an ongoing hobby. And it would be interesting if you have any thoughts on this that may have come up. And also sketch to help remind ourselves that is actually very powerful. A sketch is worth 1,000 words, I think. So happy to hear any insights, and I'm going to hand over to Prashant. Good evening.
Thank you, and hello, and good evening. Yes, it is nicely summarized. Yesterday we saw, broadly the subject of false ego. And the reason we discussed it first, because it rules our lives. In our decisions and our feelings, they are all dictated by this false ego. In other words, it makes our life false. What we are striving for itself is, this is what it claims. If there is an identity which is so dominant, it is not just academic, there is some identity there and I'm getting on with my life. That identity influences your decisions and creates feelings, and you have to face those consequences. And that foundation itself is wrong. This is what we were saying yesterday. And we need to know the truth behind this, truth about I. It is extraordinary that the philosophy world, they of course are discussing this, but as if it is a nice someone else's business. It doesn't apply to them. This kind of a position, it amazes me. If something is false, even the slightest thing, if you are going somewhere and you got a wrong direction, you won't keep driving in that direction. You say, oh, it is false, but I'll keep driving. We need to put it right. Then you save your time, otherwise you're wasting your time. Here we are talking about the notion of the self itself. So it is the foundation. So we'll come to some minutes of experience based on yesterday's discussion. Important word for us yesterday, that word was invisible witness. And the invisible witness is the invisible actor. We are just trying to understand that what we thought is I, it may not be everything. There is something more. There is the role and there is the actor behind. Most important is this invisible actor is safe. What happens in the story doesn't apply to him. The false identity falsely creates this unnecessary insecurity. It is false. Foundation is false. We are experiencing this freedom of this invisible witness. And with freedom comes silence and peace and contentment. There is zero disappointment and zero desperations. Not in the invisible witness. He finds the whole experience of the theater as a gift. He is amused by the beginning and the end. He experiences that silent contentment, silent happiness. As we continue on our journey, we remember this beautiful truth. The truth of everyone is beautiful. Thank you. We'll come to today's subject, and we are going to address our life, see our existence here, come to the basics. Some simple insights about what happens in our journey and where we may be going wrong. And what we are going to talk today, it is very, very simple, but I also feel every student, children, everyone need to know these basics. That helps us know about our own mind also. Otherwise, we waste our time and we waste our mind energy. So here we are representing our entire physical world. So your city, country, everything that you can see is within this box. All that we are doing, we are seeing a map, bigger map of our life. It is always good to see maps, then you understand the shortcuts and what is the nice way to do things. So we are seeing this map of our world where we are going to spend our life. Now this world comes with a label, and this label is, do you want to tell those who have not heard this before? You get first chance to answer. what are the labels on this box? This world comes with one main label. What is the first label it comes with? Those who are hearing it first time get a chance.
It comes with uncertainty.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes the response is chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Fear in that sense could be. There's an expiry date.
Yeah, we use the word unpredictable.
Sense of mine, and someone's written man or woman, so one or the other thing. It's my version of the world. So it's open to perception. It might not be true. Yeah.
Sure. These three labels are relevant for us. One label is, it is unpredictable. Literally, we don't know what is to happen next year. We don't know what is to happen next second. Such is the nature of this world. At an immediate level, including the body, we really don't know what is to happen to this. We are dealing with this world. It is constantly changing. Everything is changing. This planet is moving through space, and molecules are moving, and electrons are moving. Human beings are moving. Change is like a law. And with change comes end. You don't see the same scene twice. What you saw a minute ago, it has gone. There we see the next scene. Nothing comes with the guarantee that it will be permanent. A whole lot. End is guaranteed. Such is the nature. By itself, it is not a problem, but we need to know that it is like this. Imagine some company, your airlines company, in the brochure writes it is unpredictable. It guarantees very good seating and everything is very comfortable, very special, very good airlines, but it is unpredictable. Will you be a bit bothered by this? Will it bother you? Will it create a little insecurity in you? So no guarantee that it will even arrive, it will land, no guarantee of any kind. No guarantee of which airport it will arrive. It says unpredictable. It won't bother me. I am not disturbed by this airline. All I need to do is don't buy the ticket from it, and then it doesn't disturb me. If I become dependent on it in some way, I take support from it, and by buying the ticket, you are creating dependency. Only when you create dependency, then it will bother you. We use the word bondage for this. Very, very narrow meaning of bondage. To understand it that way, sometimes the word attachment is used. These English words have got very broad meaning, but we use it with very strict meaning only when you create a dependency, taking support in some way. So these airlines, I may be working for the airline. Even that is not a problem. As long as I do not create emotional dependency on it, then there is no bondage. There is no attachment. So someone else creates some kind of expectation that some friend is arriving, he will arrive on time. Just create an expectation. He is creating a bondage. He is creating an attachment. In this our discussion today, we might just use the word bondage. but enough to know. So here, this world itself is unpredictable. Any of you got any bondage in this box? Well, bondage we create in many different ways, as was said, creating expectations, but another big way we create bondage is by using the word my. I own things within it. And then you feel you can lose it. The moment you say something is mine, you are taking support from it. You are relying on it. So and creating desires, expectations, demands, all this you are in different ways. It's worth checking if there is any emotional dependency on this. The moment you create a dependency, even if things are in front of you, you will experience a state of fear or just insecurity. It is all in front of you, but you are insecure because it can change. It can disappear. That is some subconsciously, it is insecure and it is unpredictable. And we don't like this feeling of insecurity. For example, I come in this place where I'm sitting right now. Let us say I come here and there is a nice chair, and I start to believe that this is my chair, maybe for any good reason. Someone might say this is yours, and I feel it's mine. The moment I put the label my to it, insecurity starts because someone can break it, someone can steal it, so I might lose it. So the more I am impressed with it, more will be my insecurity. And I try to solve it in different ways. And my one way of solving it is if I have one more of this chair, that will be a good backup. So I now get two chairs. In case I lose one, there's another. Problem is solved? Secure forever? No, now I can lose two. So my clever answer is more. This is the reason why we find ourselves in this chant. I want more. Once I was with one union leader, and the union leader, he took out one board from his, shelf. And he says, our union has got just one program. We don't have many disciplines, or just one program. And what was written on that board? We want more. So then this is our whole notion of our existence, is we want more. I said this is a program of the whole world, not just your union. So this is a chant of everyone. Want more, because subconsciously we want more. Because we feel we are insecure that more will address it. It can be more money, more gold, everything. We want more. They almost feel guilty to be content. They feel they are actually doing something wrong by being content. They have to run, get more, more, more. And this is the direction we are in. And that takes us in this downward spiral. More a person is at the lower end of this spiral, greater is the misery. If he is at the higher end of the spiral, less the misery. But moment we are in this spiral, misery starts. We saw yesterday, once you are in that insecurity trap, feeling insecure, it can take us into that whole spectrum of all the emotions, a whole range, entire range of negative emotions. It starts from that insecurity. But some sociologists will tell you all social problems in our society, their root is insecurity. Like, for example, violence. Its root is insecurity. If there are wars happening, right now there are wars happening, on this planet. Talk to the leaders, and they will say they feel insecure. People are making each other insecure, and so there is war. But same thing happens in a small family also. There can be war going on within this, and the cause is insecurity. Drug problem, they will say the root cause of it is insecurity. Greed in this world, root cause is insecurity. Health problems, medical health problems. Many researchers, they say that cause of illness itself, why there should be illness, they say subconscious insecurity. Then it takes many other forms, but that is fairly accurate because it starts imbalance. Once you are limping, as if when you start limping, it creates other problems, other joints, bit like that. And so if that is addressed, it will be a healthy society. We very clearly see this. We also saw yesterday this identification. As we are going further down the spiral, then another level of bondage we create is by identification. Identification is very deep bondage. Like, say, if there is a chair, and I'm just using the word my chair, it makes me insecure because I can lose that chair. When I identify with the chair, you may not need to take the chair away. You just criticize the chair. It hurts me. So it makes me many times more insecure when I identify. It's much deeper bondage that we find ourselves in. You want to say anything? Anyone has got any bondages, any attachments?
Mhm. Yes, you started by saying that we discussed the identity first because it rules our lives, and now we're looking at the aspect of these words, and they rule our lives too, and they end. But it's amazing how they've become subconscious and as if seen to be normal. I could say for myself, like unquestioned. And by questioning them, it's a bit like having a diagnosis for how we feel what we feel. And it's not about a guilt about it, but then we see what is the solution. It's like as if we're trying to constantly square a circle and look for what is innately needed in an impossible situation. So it's helpful to make it so clear. There are no questions right now,
Sure.
except
I'll
one
give
that's just
one.
come in.
Oh, sure. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
address.
What about taking care and safeguarding a child? Is it attachment?
As we are saying here, the attachment word we use only for bondage, for dependency, emotional dependency. You know, taking care, this is love, that is a very different department. Yesterday we said, when you are secure, you are loving. We want you to be loving. But dependency is separating. Emotional dependency. Sometimes the child may be better off with another person, and maybe with the grandparents, child is happy, but I am unhappy because I am missing. So that is attachment. Love is separate.
Thank you.
I'll give one example in connection with this bondage department. One one family, someone we know, and their at that time 4-year-old boy, name of the boy John. They come to another family, we had some gathering and their family had come. And the host family brought out a toy for John. And everyone should be happy because John liked the toy also, so everyone should be happy. 10 minutes later, I go back in the garden, go to see John is crying. And why he's crying? He said, I want to take this toy home. He liked the toy so much. And his mother said, we can't take that toy home, but you play with that toy. So he now has already lost the toy. He got into this spiral rather quickly, 10 minutes. Children, maybe it is easier to get into this. And then he lost it because he can't take this toy home and found himself in that state of insecure, unhappy, but toy is in front. He's not playing with it, just crying. And then after some hours, they are going home. He goes home crying. What a disaster, what a tragedy. A whole attempt was made to make him happy, and what actually the end result, he is unhappy. Just this little attachment changes the game so much. He saw himself as a victim. He did not say it is something wrong, his attitude is wrong. He saw that it is victim. Why he is not allowed to take this home with him? He is internally blaming others. Because this insecurity creates this mentality of the victim. What we are seeing here is that, taking the example of John, John had come there and he is going to leave in 2 hours. And what was given to him is a wonderful gift. For 2 hours, he is in this nice place, different place, and the toy is also given. It is a nice gift for 2 hours. And if he was in that space, as with everybody else, they knew very clearly we are there for 2 hours. Nice experience. Thank you very much. We go. Then he would have enjoyed. There is no need of victim. But we show this dotted line that represents ignorance. So what is the ignorance in this case? That world, that house is a not his place. He doesn't own anything there, and everything belongs to somewhere else, someone else. To create bondage in it, that is confusion. I am going to someone's house and start saying this is mine. It is confusion. I am not seeing things clearly. So here John started saying the letter my to things here in someone's house. That is, he's entering into confusion. That's why he has crossed this dotted line of ignorance. And once we are into ignorance, it is a free fall. There is nothing to stop me to go to my and more and I. There is, as long as I'm in clarity, I do not create these bondages and do not get into sorrow. It is like being deceived and deception. When you cross that dotted line, you are deceived. Something that is not mine, I start to believe it's mine. Bird, animal, human beings, whoever who are deceived, there are penalties. if a bird is deceived, you lay a trap and bird is deceived, there is sorrow. Animals who are not deceived, they don't suffer. They remain free. So here, we as human race, we are passing through this, and this is the example of this John. This is offered to him. If he is not sensible, if he is not careful, crosses the line, then sorrow comes, penalties come. Getting to get this deceived is not a great achievement. To enter into ignorance is not a great achievement. We are better staying in the space of clarity. So this is with John, John and his toy. But what surprises me, it appears like a small mistake. He just created an attachment to one little toy. They're worth nothing. Little toy. It appears a small mistake. But sorrow was for hours. It spoiled his day completely. It was is like a big problem for him. Same happens with human beings. If we cross this dotted line, then it creates disproportionate penalty to us. Now let us ask the question, is it possible for us to be in this world? We said this is amazing. We are going to spend our life here. Life means literally 24 hours, and 80 years, 100 years, we are going to spend that time here continuously. Is it possible to be in this world and have zero bondage, zero attachment? To be in this world, to be in the job, to be with people, family, money, bank account, and have no bondage, nothing mine, no expectations, no bondage of any kind. Is it theoretically possible? What I'm really asking, you are not going to a monastery, you are living in the city, and is it possible for you to be out of this spiral? That's the question.
One
Normal
response.
life.
Sorry?
Yeah, please.
So yeah, life goes on, you were saying, but having this attitude. Okay, so first response, it's possible with constant work on the self. It's not possible. We all have some bondages. Do we need to become a monk? Question. Someone's responding no. So that's in a way, yeah, we think we have to remove ourselves in some way from something. Interdependence always happens in the physical world.
Sure. Now, let us ask another question. And those who said it is possible, how? How is it possible? What should I be doing?
So perhaps those who think it is possible have got some philosophy for that, which they're sharing. They want help with the answer. Someone's saying as a guest.
Let's take this example here. And in this example, we are showing a museum in Cambridge called Fitzwilliam Museum. It doesn't look like this, but they might like this model, for future. So here is a museum. You go to this museum, you spend 2 hours in the museum, you absolutely enjoy being there and happy to come out of the museum. You're happy to go in, happy to come out. And during this time, you are associated with many things. but you did not create any bondage. When you come out, you don't think you lost anything. You are not like that boy, John, that you lost this and you lost that. You enjoyed it. You were happy that you went there. And what made the difference? How come even for 2 hours you created zero bondage? How? What? How did you manage that? The one reason for you the exit is very clear. This word exit is important for us. And when the exit is very clear, you don't go in the opposite direction. It appears a bit strange to. We give the example of children. For children, the time dimension is not very developed. In most, they live at that moment. They can't really see the future, what might happen in 5 minutes. As a result, they don't see the exit. They can't see. They feel it will be with them forever. If you don't see the exit, you feel it will be with you forever. That's why they go in that downward spiral. If you can see the exit, it cautions you and you don't go in the other direction. The word exit, worth writing this down. And as a result, you know you are like a traveler, you are a guest. You are seeing the bigger map. All of this is contributing to clarity. If I'm not seeing the bigger map, it is going in the direction of ignorance. If I can't even see my exit, that is like going in the ignorance. That's why you cross that line, dotted line. So here is that museum. Now the question, are we guests on this planet? In this world, are we guests? Do we have an exit? Or is there anyone who has plans to stay here permanently? If you are not making those plans, then it means we have an exit, a guaranteed exit. Some statistics, they say so far, 100 billion human beings have come and they all have gone. 100 billion, some kind of a statistics, by their calculation. No one has stayed, so good chance I will also go. So there is an exit. And just to be aware of this exit is a very powerful thing for us because it prevents us from going in that downward spiral. At a practical level, what does it mean? We may know this. There are many poets are telling us we are travelers, we are guests. Musafir, there are songs around this. All the prophets are telling us. They use the word guest also. Philosophers are telling us we are guests. And we ourselves may be telling others also. So what is new? You want to tell what is new? Still there is something else is required. We know that we are guests. What is the new thing? New thing is to experience being a guest. That is a new thing. And that's why we suggest for just 1 minute, create a time, 1 minute. I'm literally meaning it, And doing this for 1 minute, be the guest on this planet. And what does that mean? Be a guest on the planet. Remind that guest doesn't own one atom on this planet. Guest is a very beautiful concept that helps us come out of these bondages. A guest naturally has no demands, no expectations, most guests. So here, guest knows that he doesn't own anything there. And so here you be the vulnerable guest for 1 minute. And during that time, you are saying, not one atom here belongs to me. This body doesn't belong to me. And no one else belongs to me. For 1 minute. Somehow our lower nature also allows us to practice it. If you are going to say, forever nothing belongs to me, something will object, will rebel against, and you don't get an experience. But for 1 minute you are saying, I am going to be the guest for 1 minute, and I want nothing here. And deep inside you will experience, I lose nothing. You will experience that security of the guest. You will experience the freedom of the guest. You will experience the lightness of the guest for 1 minute. Then you can continue. You to go back, or everything is mine. That's fine. But for 1 minute, you give yourself this chance and the experience. And during that 1 minute, you are going up the spiral. That is where we want to be. Otherwise, whether we like it or not, we are constantly in the downward spiral. It is not just the downward spiral was, somewhere in the past, and now I'm okay. No, we are still going down that spiral. Nature is that. And that is constantly having that gravity as if to pull us further down, create more attachments and more degradation. We said further down the person is in that spiral, greater misery, greater degradation, greater sorrow. And this human race and individually will be better if we come up the spiral. More we come up the spiral, we saw yesterday, you will increasingly discover your security. You find you are secure at a deep level. You are free from that unpredictable world. You are free from ignorance. That is the big achievement. The childish kind of reactions, you find you are becoming free from that. And when you are secure, you discover your peace. When you are secure, discover your happiness. When you are secure, you discover you are more loving. You discover a secure person love. Secure person experience contentment. But we also saw yesterday, secure person experiences better concentration. There is emotional stability. You experience better clarity. As you come up the spiral, you are seeing things better. It is a journey into wisdom, coming out of ignorance into wisdom. And all of this adds to your creativity. In fact, everyone is like this. The spiritual knowledge tells us that everyone is good, everyone is creative, everyone is happy, everyone is loving. And that going down the spiral creates like an eclipse, creates a block. They give the example of John. He's a nice boy, very pleasant, very happy, very loving, nice boy. But just see what was his time. He crossed that line And he was crying and he was grumpy and he's not a nice boy during those hours. Same happens with human beings, adults, everyone. And as if we are eclipsed by something else unnecessarily. Childish, we said he was crying. It is total waste. It is ignorance means he's crying for nothing and waste of time, waste of his life also. Same with us. When we are in that downward spiral, our sorrows are for nothing, and what we think we are trying to achieve, it is all coming from confusion. There are regrets at the end. There are regrets. We have option of experiencing this higher nature, our own nature, and everyone is good. Everyone is noble. Everyone is divine. We are saying this because in that personality, there is no negative. When you are secure, it is not that he experiences peace sometimes and love sometimes anger, and sometimes just some envy. No, in that state, he is free from that negative department. Under provocation, he doesn't feel. Why he doesn't feel? Because he is not dependent. He is involved in this world, but he is free deep inside. We said, airlines, if I have not created dependency, then it doesn't disturb me. It doesn't make me stressed or angry, if they change the flights or cancel the flights, because I am not having any bondages. Same here with this this world we are in. If there are no bondages, things change, things suddenly um, turn left, turn right. Sure, he has no bondages and he is able to experience his peace. And from that peace, from that control, the life where there is control, he can intervene. Like you can still go to the airline and give ideas how they can improve things, but coming from your peace, not coming from your anger. If you have booked a flight, you will be you might be visiting them also, but coming from your irritation maybe. But one who is in this space, he will he's free to do whatever he wants to do about this world. But there is sense in what he's doing and there is control. His actions come from that happiness, love, peace, wisdom that is influencing his actions. He's useful to others, useful to himself. We said all of this, we are talking about 1 minute practice for 1 minute. And deeper inside, something allows you to practice it for 1 minute. As we said, if you do it, if you say, I'm going to do this permanently, in no way, because ego and all are absolutely, frightened by this, by the guest. Why do we need all this? So they will resist. But 1 minute you practice, you are coming up the spiral. Up the spiral, you have more clarity. You already have some experience now. The glimpses, we said you experience security of a guest. You experience freedom of a guest. You experience peace of a guest and lightness of a guest. All of this adds to you know, your inner positioning. So next time you are creating another minute, it will be more refined. It takes you further, one level higher. So the journey is backed by clarity and experience. 1 minute, but continue to add these 1 minutes, and you will continue to move up the spiral. And as you are moving up the spiral, ego will also become smaller, and other bondages will also become smaller. Like to hear any thoughts? Anything you
Yeah,
want to add?
thank you. I sense, because it's a very different perspective. As you say, we know about the concept of a guest in a more poetic way, perhaps, or but they actually to experience it. So the questions come such as, yes, we know there's an exit, but how can we not get into the spiral? We do live in this world. So maybe when hearing this, trying to grasp how to actually apply it, perhaps. How to be
Yes.
involved yet free. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do this homework. What we spoke about, 1 minute program. During that 1 minute, to bring quality, and I am emphasizing in that quality. During that minute, you are saying, not one atom of this world can belong to me. Guest means guest. I come, I visit, and I go. For 1 minute, you are reminding this position of the guest, and you feel, wow, I got nothing to lose. Everything is a gift. These are the feelings you will get straight away. We are also adding to this some words. They are nice words. One expression, detached involvement. We want to be involved here, at the same time free. In this case, the word detached is with that meaning of freedom. It is not running away from things, but we want to be involved, but at the same time not become trapped, remain free. Another word we are using here, one who is sensible, one who is spiritually intelligent, he uses the word invisible traveler. He sees himself as this. Can you see these words? They are a bit lighter.
Yes. Fine.
But he's invisible anyway. The
Becoming
invisible.
more subtle, yes.
Why invisible? Because he says not one atom of this world can belong to him. And this world is full of, it is made up of atoms and molecules. It is packed with this, which is nice, amazing world. But he knows not one atom belongs to him. That's why he's a guest. If not one atom belongs to him, he cannot be defined by those atoms and molecules. So he knows he's a guest, but this guest is an invisible guest. This is his attitude. Very happy to be in this world of amazing molecules and colors and fragrance. Nice, thank you very much. But it is not mine. He's a traveler through this. It's like you may be going in some park and there is something going on there, some plants, and you experience it. Nice experience, thank you. I'm going out. This is the way he sees this guest. He is invisible guest. And as a result, he finds himself instantly experiencing that fun, in the fun of the guest. Let me ask a question to you. Think of your city, your country. Who enjoys more your city? Local people or tourists? I can talk about this with Cambridge, and there is a huge difference between what the tourists speak of and what local people speak of. Every place you will find tourists enjoy it more than the local people. And why? Because tourists have not gone in that spiral, in that place. They are in that place, but they have not gone, not started creating bondages.
Not gone in the downward spiral, you mean?
That's right, downward spiral.
Yeah.
So they have not gone in this direction. And so the moment they are in that space of a tourist, they have greater appreciation of everything. They think every minute is so wonderful. They are happy to come, happy to live. Same happens during that minute when you are seeing yourself as an invisible traveler. You discover that space of appreciation, and everything appears like a gift, and you are in the positive space. Yes, yeah, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, a couple of questions in direct connection to this. It's very nice, and there is a lot of response about guests. They have fresh eyes, they see the positive, they have a way out. What about in our lives, we do have responsibility, whereas a guest doesn't have responsibility. They don't have to pay the bills, they just travel through. How can we be detached from our responsibilities?
Yeah, nice. We use the words, we are guests, agreed. And many times, there are guests in this house, and I myself, I'm a guest many times in different countries, different places. So you remain a guest, but even as you are a guest, you also remain a trustee. Just like a bank manager, he doesn't own all the millions in the bank, but he's a trustee. He is responsible for that. As a guest, he also remains a witness, an observer. As a guest, he also remains a traveler. All these words are good for us. They have the element of involvement, at the same time freedom. And a trustee doesn't cross that line of ignorance. Detached observer, he doesn't cross that line of ignorance. Traveler, of course, he knows very clearly his exit. Guest knows of his exit. All of these go together, and and then he stays in that higher space, and he is guided by these factors, and let me explain what these are. P4 stands for peace, H stands for happiness, L stands for love, C for contentment. And then also, when we are in that secure space, there is enthusiasm. So these are the factors that influence your life. A person who is in this space, he's full. Internally, he feels full. But that fullness doesn't bring laziness. That space is not of laziness. When it is coming from ego, if for slightest reason, he might go into some kind of a laziness or or sluggishness, something, or idle. But here there is enthusiasm inside. It's a positive space, and then he does things not because out of greed, but out of joy or out of love. Positive motivators. As was said, you are useful to yourself when you are in that space. This space, if you are in that space, it won't bring you loss. Most important factor in this, you are in clarity. Other factor, it is in ignorance. You are busy doing things, but in ignorance. At the end of the day, there are regrets. Here, you will never have regrets.
Yeah, this is a question that was here about how to be motivated and succeed. And I remember this feeling of really pushing in one part of the life, which was the career. And I think I could really see it was from an insecure seed, in the sense it was from desire for self-respect or some kind of limited security. So this is a secure seed. We need to, as if, come from a different programming, isn't it? It will achieve positive results because it reinforces a higher consciousness. But it's as if we have to see them and as if see from a fresh view. It's a very different place to come from, isn't it?
Yeah, very clear.
This a question which is similar about in what you brought up, but if you want to add anything about trusteeship, guests don't get caught up with trouble with business. They don't have to earn money to live. How is it possible? So, I mean, you touched on it with trustee, but if you want to give a specific example to get more of a feeling of it.
Yeah, nice. So he finds there can be a whole setup of family and house, and the whole thing is going on, But deep inside, he knows that he is the invisible, he is that invisible traveler. That is very, very clear to him. And he knows he doesn't own a single atom in that whole thing. Like he knows he might leave any moment now. This is the way that unpredictable box is. He is not concerned about it at all. That he may have to leave now, he may leave after another 50 years, no problem. But whilst he's here, he's quite happy to be taking care of the body also as a trustee, taking care of the family, fully involved. But as a trustee, taking care of his property, house, whatever, as a trustee, deep inside he knows he can't own one atom there, but at the same time he is very involved in it. As was said, just like a bank manager is involved, so also he is involved. It is good for us to experiment with this, to take on some of these words. Trustee, in our personal situation, what will that mean? For 1 minute, let me see the trustee properly, fully. As I said, not even body is mine. I'm just passing through this. Invisible traveler sees himself like that. He's just passing through. But nice to have a body right now for short time. But he looks after it as a trustee. He gives the food that is right for that body. Body doesn't need cigarettes, so why would a trustee give it cigarettes? So he does things responsibly.
Just give the feeling, when we're having this mindset, it's as if we can apply the mind and resources enough, but not too much, because when there's as if we're so caught up that the outcome, our feelings are based upon the outcome. So we become as if locked into the dependency that the children should be happy and our happiness is directly connected. We may do everything we can, but we can sometimes create a complication there with too much micromanagement, for example. So in a way, it becomes more clear. There's more impartiality to see what the best is and understand what is not possible to control. So yeah, just a reflection. You mentioned we are still going down the spiral and that the gravity is that. But in some, in life there can be ups and downs. And I don't know if you want to say a bit more about that. How come it's
Ups and downs, these are, in the circumstances, ups and downs. But underneath that silent chant is going on, I want more. I want more praise. Each ego wants a little bit more. It doesn't say yesterday I had a praise and I'm now content. No, today he wants more. He wants a bigger position. He wants to claim something more. A bit like that. It is like his insecurity never ends, and he continues to go further down the spiral, trying to address that insecurity. Ups and downs are in the outer situation.
it's clear.
I want to tell one small story, if it is okay, before the break. And in this story, one man was falling off a cliff. And as he was falling off, he tries to catch hold of some branches of a tree. And he says, God, God, help, help. And there was church very close by. So there was God. And God said, no problem, I will help you. But you will have to obey me. And this man said, no problem, I will obey you rest of my life. I trust, I trust you. And I can do anything for you. My life is for you. God said, I'm very impressed. And not many people say things like this, that their life is for me. And you trust me. You're an amazing thing. In that case, let go. He was holding to these branches. Let go. So there was a long silence. And after that long silence, he said, is there anybody else there to help me? So there was nobody else. So he has to listen to God and gradually let go. And when he let go, he discovered he was on the ground. Ground was very close by. And now that he's on the ground, he can go back on those branches. He can do the same thing what he was doing before. Earlier he was with the branches, now he's with the branches. What's the difference? Do you want to tell?
A different relationship with the branches. Second time he's doing it, it's not scary. He knows the ground's not far away. Yeah, he feels safe. He has faith, or maybe he's sure, and he's got experience.
Now he's playing with the branches. Earlier, his time was in panic. He was with the branches, but his time was in panic. because anytime that branch can break, so that is subconscious panic is going on. Once he had touched the ground, now he is with the branches, he is playing with the branches. He himself has gone on the branches. What made the difference? What made the difference?
He knows his limitation, awareness. He has let go of panic, so it's replaced with a feeling of play. He's got trust, he's got more knowledge.
He's secure. Most important, now he has touched the ground. He knows that he's safe. And the moment he discovered that he's safe, now the play energy comes in. He's playing with it. When there he was having this dependency on unpredictable branches, time was in panic. He was with the branches, but it was in panic. This is our story. And what are the branches for us? This is our story. And what are the branches?
Yes, someone is asking, are the branches the bondages?
Yeah, yeah. But tell precisely which bondages.
Yeah, so they're neutral things, aren't they? But we can make them a bondage. Relationships, a body, which we can get attached to, yes. But what are the branches? The things in the box.
Various things within this box, yeah. And that includes people, as you said, relations. But internally check if you are taking support, emotional dependency there with anyone, their presence, their company, their some attitude. Check if there is so dependency on people for some position, for some possession. Your iPod will give you eternal security. For some, it may be place. For some, it may be pesetas and pounds. For some, maybe pubs or pizza. So the various things within that unpredictable box, you are taking deep support. You have to rely upon this. That it gives you sorrow. Very fact, sorrow comes means there is a you are holding on to the branch. And even when everything is going well, subconscious panic remains. Because deeper inside, you know it is going to go. We have the option to touch the ground. What that 1 minute program, what we are talking about, that helps you touch the ground. Just for 1 minute, you touch the ground. You know the absolute security of the guest. And having touched the ground, you are not running away from this world. You are coming back in this world. You are coming back in this world. But you are coming back in that world to play. You are with people, you are with position, you are with work, you are with everything. Nothing wrong with anything. That's why we said we want to be in the job. We want to be in the city. We don't want to run away from this. But now he's coming back into this world with the energy of play. That is the only difference. Earlier it was with one energy, now it is with different energy. When will you perform better? Job. Will you perform better when you are in panic, or will you do better when you are enjoying it? Say you have to go from one city to another city. Which driver will you choose? One who is in panic or one who enjoys driving. So here comes our life. We are into this world. Which driver is in charge of our life? One who is in panic or one who is playing?
One who is stable and enjoys driving, for sure.
Yeah, that gives us a fair idea of our options. We said to understand is nice, and understanding itself gives us some insight, benefit also. But when you create this minute and minute of quality experience, that is when the deeper change happens, and benefit is much, much deeper also.
Maybe good time for some discussion, but before that would you like to lead a couple of minutes of practice before the room discussion?
Sure. So let us create this time. And during these few minutes, we are just reflecting on the word guest. That is also meditation. Just reflecting. We all have the experience of being a guest. Guest, he knows he doesn't own anything in that place. He knows he doesn't lose anything. He naturally experiences the lightness of a guest, security of a guest. He experiences the freedom of a guest. Guest is always free. In any household, guest is the one who is most free, feels free. We remind ourselves that we are guests on this planet. The invisible traveler is the guest on this planet. And being the guest, he knows he doesn't own anything on this planet. And so he knows he doesn't lose anything. During this minute, we really come to that. Whether it is land, property, or anything, not even a little notebook, he doesn't own anything. Invisible traveler. He knows he doesn't own anyone else. Some ego might feel he owns many things or many others also. But the invisible traveler knows he doesn't own anyone in this theater drama. And so he never loses anyone. Invisible traveler, he knows he doesn't own a single atom in this world. And he's got nothing to lose. Complete freedom. The moment he comes in that space, he discovers every moment here is a gift. And it's an extraordinary gift. Next moment is another gift. He experiences this huge appreciation of a guest. He experiences the lightness of a guest. He experiences that security of a guest. he experiences the freedom of our guest. As we continue on our journey, we remember the beautiful truth of all of us, beautiful truth of the invisible traveler. Thank you.
The experience is putting everything into place, isn't it? And that's maybe nice to create time for, even in the room. If you want, you can create a bit of time for silence or just some words to revive this. And especially when you said can't own anything, not even a notebook. I think you said that just for me, because when it comes to notebook, it seems it's so liberating, actually, isn't it? You can't own anything. Like there's something as if it becomes alive. So the question we could reflect on in rooms, as well as sharing experience, what are the signs of crossing the line, and what helps come above the line? How to put this into practice? Do you want to? Is that okay, Prashant? So
Yes, that's nice. Also, if we are holding on to any branches, what are our branches?
what are our branches? Okay, that's good. We'll just edit that. As if once you see it, then it's easier to manage, isn't it, or rectify. Anyway, there's probably enough to get on with, and as yesterday, it's great if you can come in camera, if it's possible, and giving a little space for everyone to share. There may be someone who's coordinating, if not, just maybe throw a virtual ball, as it were, and invite others once you've shared. So enjoy. We'll meet back in just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back. I always sense that sometimes the room is not long enough, but it can as if begin a reflection, and perhaps even the open-ended discussion will continue for each of us and help with insights. So, should we just create a minute? And this is about just more the feeling. What is that feeling of the invisible traveler? Take a pause for a moment. You. It'd be nice to hear, or if you wanted to share in the chat, like what was your feeling of what are the signs of crossing the line? because I sense this is actually a question perhaps would be nice to hear more about. But what did you come up with? And of course, the longer answer might be how to put into practice, but maybe the first one. And also, yes, could we hear a bit more on that from Prashant? Yeah, welcome back and handing over. Thank you.
So, and do you mind to repeat to know more about what?
Yes, so this is the discussion question, and I sensed in some of the rooms, still grappling with it. There was also a question, how do we know we have crossed the line, and therefore overcome this subconscious panic. So
Sure.
one sign is that we are in that mindset, but if there's something more you want to add.
Yeah, sure. We give the example of boy, he's visiting someone else's house, and if he creates even the slightest dependency in that foreign house, it means he has crossed a line. Line is line of ignorance. So I'm confused. I can't see that this is temporarily, I'm just temporarily passing through. If I'm in some shop just for 10 seconds, just passing, and if I start thinking this is mine and this is mine, and they will say you are a robber. And the problem there is confusion, ignorance. Same thing applies to this world. When you are seeing from clear perspective, this world is a foreign world for us. That's why we have an exit, and we have an exit without our permission. So when you are on the right side of the line, you are aware of it. And it is 100%. Not one atom there belongs to me. If that attitude is there, then I am on the right side of the line. If I feel this is already mine, and creating demands and expectations, and you think you want more, then it is confusion on top of confusion. Normally, we are in that state where we don't even question. Creating these minutes of 100%. During those minutes, you are on the right side of the line. You created 100% clarity. And if I am a guest, then not one atom there is mine. Try and experience it. And that will become like a little mirror, some contrast for us to see, when I'm not on the right side of the line. And in what way I am not on the right side of the line. All these different spirals, I will see them.
This is good, isn't it? A mirror. It's like checking where is the happiness and security coming from, because then that is, in a way, giving the remote control of my feelings to something external, become a puppet. So these are like things which awaken our sense of what is permanent. There was another question. Maybe I can bring it up now. What is the reason for coming here? Why are we travelers?
Why we are traveling? We went through that list. We are invisible travelers. We are invisible guests. We are witness and invisible observers, trustees, and we are also players. Try and experience, even as we are talking of this, try and get a feel of it. Who says this? That invisible traveler is saying that. He is passing through. He is a player. Not a role, not Prashant, but invisible traveler. He is a player. Now, player, they need a home to start with. Any player, and the home by itself is not enough. There comes a time he wants to be on the field. He's a player. He knows beforehand, he will get tired and he may win, he may lose, he may get injured also. He knows it beforehand, but he's a player. He wants to come on the field. He doesn't want to stay in home all the time, but he wants a home. This is the way we are made. You see this model, in the lives of everyone. They don't want to be just in the home. There's time they want to come out. And the same model happens at another level. We all have a home, and there comes a time we come on the field to play. Nothing wrong with it. To play is not wrong. But as long as you know not to create attachments there, not to cross the line, that is all. You will come on in the field, play, interact, but be prepared to let go and come back home. So why we come here? We come here to play. And everyone, we all are players. That's why we want to come and play. Play is a time when you can express and you can experience.
Thank you. There aren't any other questions right now.
Yeah, and it'll be nice to hear from Sarah some of your reflections.
Or maybe just on this, I felt what was helpful is checking where the happiness is coming from. And often the mind will go to that. And so that gives us an idea of what our support will be. And this will become more a topic in the next few days. The sort of the grounding of being secure it cannot be in an insecure box. So if we get that sense to gravitate to this experience of stability, even as an observer, you're the same one watching. It's so reassuring that there's a place to come back to, and that answers so many of the questions of looking to create supports in a world that's not in my control. So you can do it for yourself. That's very gives a lot of peace. You don't have to change something outside to change the feelings. So yes, this just checking questions which lead to an awakening, to awaken the dullness that can come with the ordinary thinking. So I was thinking on that. Why are we going down like the child with the toy is a new question. It's just popped in.
As was said, when the child can't see the exit, the intellect is not letting him see in clarity, then he wants to become dependent on it. He wants to own it. Another, we saw the example of the museum. You can clearly see the exit. That prevents you from creating attachments. Here I want to give another little description in this. We said we go into the spiral and then we find ourselves in that insecure mode. And of course, by now they have crossed this dotted line, and so they are in the insecure mode. And when we are in that insecure mode, we just in passing mentioned, we get into the victim mentality. Like, for example, here right now, we gave the example of the chair. I said it is my chair. Someone can criticize that chair. I feel I'm the victim. He is hurting me. Someone is scratching the chair. I feel I'm the victim. Someone may rob the chair. I'm a victim. Nothing is happening right now, but it may happen next year. I'm thinking of it. So this victim mentality starts straight away. The moment I cross that line, I'm in this victim mode. And what is the life of a victim? One who is in the victim mode, what happens? He looks for the dangers. Here sometimes we see some tiny birds, they come to get some water. And water is in front of him, this bird, and he spends sometimes 30 seconds looking up, down, left, right, you know, looking for all possible dangers before picking up one drop. And that is the way the mentality of the victim is. Victim is looking for dangers. And what does it mean at a practical level? In everyone's lives, many things are going on. One who is in the victim mentality, he gravitates towards the negative because he's not interested. Victim is not interested in all the good things happening. He's looking for dangers. And he thinks about them, he worries about them. He may even think what may happen. Nothing is going wrong, but in a year's time, something may go wrong. So he churns these negative things. Like, for example, there are 10 things going right in your life, one going wrong. That one going wrong, it gets more attention, more time. Someone has done 100 good things, one wrong thing. You think about one wrong thing. Such is the victim mentality. But one who is a victim, he doesn't stop there. That is accompanied by another mentality, and that is the beggar mentality. He constantly wants, please be kind to me, please be nice to me, please praise me, please. In some way, he is begging. He's not begging for coins, but attitude is of a beggar. And one who is a beggar, his intellect is all the time looking at emptiness. He feels himself is empty. He's not getting enough. No one is loving this kind of feeling. We are seeing the same life, same world. The invisible traveler, he feels he's never a beggar. This world, there is death also. He's never a victim. Not for 1 second he's a victim. Not for 1 second he's a beggar. He feels he's lucky, just opposite. He feels he's full. Things are good. And he also knows everyone is good. At the immediate level, things may be falling apart. But he knows that is not his world. Just like these airlines. No airline has reached and no airline is going. That's okay because he has not created a bondage. He doesn't get into some kind of a state. He remains in that state, higher consciousness. That peace, content, control operates from that. Victim, beggar, these are the lowest denominations in any society. Any town, any village, beggar is the lowest. And can you believe? We, without knowing, can end up having the mentality which is constant mentality of the beggar, mentality of the victim. When we create ego, yesterday we spoke about these identities. Those identities are deep bondages. And identities are completely hardwired to the victim mentality. Each identity feels he's a victim. But all along we are seeing, and this also explains what is happening to the world. When this direction is not even questioned, not even you know, you know challenged. We don't try to change things. So these identities are getting bigger, and victim mentality is getting bigger. Everyone feels is a victim, and they all are busy blaming someone. So that is the direction of the world also. You will see what is happening at the outer level.
Probably masked when things are going well, and we don't realize our dependencies. It's like even in Spain with the recent power outage, there was an article, and the lady who said, I will never take for granted again that appliances and electricity, just things which we have in the box, but they can fail. And just to turn it around to say, appreciating that right now we do have these things, but not to take them for granted. Otherwise, things collapse and we feel so vulnerable, victim mindset. So beggar is often successful beggar, and then things happen and we realize. So.
And the nice aspect of this is to know that we can change it. We might find ourselves in these feelings, but without changing the outer world, we can change our inner life. This is like a powerful thing. If I want to change outer world, nothing wrong with it. But let me first change my inner positioning, come to that highest option. And then it is fun. You are changing things, but you are also carefree about it. There is no desperation inside. There is no desperation of a beggar. That other personality is, we can call it noble, opposite of all this. He feels is noble, implies there is a fullness, and he knows he's lucky. Not based upon the foreign world. He's like he knows his inner treasures. Maybe we'll create a few more minutes of practice, and then we will meet again tomorrow. We remind the word traveler. Traveler anywhere in the world, one common trait. Travelers like to remain light. Travelers don't carry unnecessary burdens. Travelers have attention to let go of what is not necessary. We are travelers. A traveler may visit a place. He likes the place, but he also knows to let go. And so he is free to appreciate the next place. He doesn't get stuck to the first place he came across. That's why a traveler has a rich life. The invisible traveler is a traveler through space. and also traveler through time. We have all traveled through the past, many different experiences. We have a journey. We are here. We understand the wisdom to let go. We don't carry the past with us. We know to let go of the past. And so free to be in this moment, the rich moment now. Appreciate the present naturally and appreciate the next moment. And happy to look forward to the future. The invisible traveler enjoys life, enjoys the journey. Thank you.
Thank you. We finished. You want to give a notional homework? And sometimes it can be to tell the story to someone because it's nice for us to revise. Do you want to add anything to that?
Some of the sketches, that will be, they are very useful, the sketches. Some that we saw today, downward spiral and upward spiral. And the big homework is the quality minute. Understand this, 1 minute secret, 1 minute of quality.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Enjoy your experiments. Meet again tomorrow. Thank you.